Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we talk about Vetece Holdings. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let me know in the comments. So some details. Share price 25 cents per share. Market cap nearly 100 million. Earnings about 6.5 million, which gives it a PE based on financial year end 2023, 15 times nearly. On your right, these are the important details. Please pay attention if you want to apply.
Yeah, the closing is on the 14th of August. So
Which is,
I think
in 1 day's time, by the
yeah.
time you watch this.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we go on as well, Jonathan, share with us about Moomoo.
Yes, exactly. So you can subscribe to Vetece Holdings IPO via Moomoo. So if you want to know how to actually sign up for a Moomoo account or how do we even apply for IPO stock, you can check out our video that we have did it right at the corner over here and just see the step-by-steps. And also you can get some freebies up to 1,000 ringgit if you just use our link in the description or comments below.
Okay, so let's start with some of the business. I know this company is so-called in the tech space, but what in the world do they do?
Yeah, so they are an enterprise IT solution provider, like those ERP kind of stuff.
Very back-end, sounds very back-end.
Yeah,
really.
it's a very back-end stuff. They are basically like an installer. So they'll find like a principal, for example, Oracle, Salesforce, or whatsoever, and then they will like take their software and help the customers to actually integrate this software and then help them to install inside their backend system. Very simple guy only, just basically installer. And these are the few customers that they have been helping: telecommunication, financial service, tech, manufacturing, education, and many more. Yeah, so just to break down these three business activity, number one is implementation services. This one is basically, they will advise their client on what software, whether this software suits their back-end system or not. And once they give the advice, then they will help them to do from A to Z. And then the second one, which is more recurring, this one is a maintenance
This
support.
is support, as usual.
Exactly.
I have one question to help all of us understand. Let's say if they don't exist, what happened to their clients?
Oh, okay. So they have to go through multiple agents, because these kind of services is really like a one-stop shop. But right now you see there's more and more people coming out as a one-stop. So it can actually help to make a seamless kind of like operation for the customers. And then they just have to go through them. They are basically the expert already.
So I think for reference is, as you can see, when it comes to the solution in the middle there, I'm seeing CRM, I'm seeing data, and cloud, among other things. So what you're saying is, if Vetece does not exist, it means they have to go one by one to find one guy for cloud, find one guy for CRM. But with Vetece, it's all in one.
Yeah, and they have to manually do all of the data, specification, all those, because there's like one whole giant big data. Yeah, they have to collect, right? Yeah. So they are quite an important player in the value chain. And they will not only serve Malaysia, they also have like overseas client, but although it's still a very small contribution only. So they serve Australia, Singapore, Brunei, Thailand, Papua New Guinea, and all of the other different countries. Okay, so some background history. They initially worked for this company called Siebel as an implementation subcontractor in 2003. Then Siebel later got acquired by Oracle in 2006. So that's how they actually got the connection with Oracle. And they have been their principal contractor since. And they, as mentioned, they work for Oracle. Also, another few non-Oracle partners like Teradata, WSO2, Salesforce, and they are in the industry, very, very critical and important.
So this is like a very classic story of people working in an MNC, getting some specific skill that can serve a bigger MNC.
Yeah, exactly.
Then coming out, doing their own thing, and basically probably say we're probably a bit cheaper.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah. Okay, so fun fact, they have two different contracts. One is the project base, which is implementation service contract. That one, they arrange around 3 months to 2 years of payment term. Maintenance, support, and professional, these are more recurring. So that one is about 6 months to 5 years. And what's good about their business is that they can actually collect some deposit up from their customers. And sometimes the customer may even pay up one lump sum, or they'll pay by stages of completion progress. And then for those who are unemployed or looking for a job, right? So they are actually hiring these IT professional, and they are getting paid about 100,000 to 152,000 per year. This is for software developer and solution architect. And yeah, so just now mentioned the few tech partners over here is Oracle, Technology Partner B, WSO2, and so on. Now, just like I mentioned about the benefits, right, on why is VTech so important in this value chain. So number one is that they actually help to improve the effectiveness of this customer business process. They help to streamline and also reduce redundancy, which is cutting all those agents, and then, of course, improve their business process, and also a quicker introduction to the customer's new products and service to the market. So this is just a visualized example. So this is like when you do credit card,
this is for finance,
online, okay. Online banking. So you have to go through a lot of all these processes, right? You have to collect the credit card detail, then they have to tell the deposit system to deposit account withdrawal requests and all those stuff. So there's a lot of steps involved, and what these VTechs does is that they have this software by Oracle that can actually seamlessly and do it everything like in just a few seconds only to process all of these transactions. And then not only for the online side, also they also help to basically make your data more
organized.
more clean, more organized. Yeah. So they got explained basically when
so they have a UI UX interface for
yeah.
the workers and the employees to use.
So this is the dashboard like your CRM dashboard. But to put it how to simplify this entire complex process, right? So they got actually explain it. So you can actually collect a lot of data from multiple channels, right? And then this data will become like a data lake. Data lake is basically just a stream of data. Very a lot. And then you need to organize it, and also you need to like segregate each data based on specific data that you want, right? So you will store in a data warehouse, then you go through data mart, and then only you go to the application and analytics like this Oracle that they have. So it's a very, very important software for big MNCs that has big data. So this is a revenue breakdown by their segment. You can see that both of these implementation service and so maintenance work are almost about 50-50 already.
But we can see a trend that the implementation is actually increasing, right?
Yes, so implementation increasing a lot means they are securing more new customers.
Yeah.
Then this will go alongside with their maintenance service because...
So one thing to take note is that the maintenance service has actually halved, right, in the past 3 years. So I'm guessing that's where one area of concern.
Yeah, so the reason why is because this is still FPE 2024. You're referring to this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this one is like complete, 7, right? It's a 7 months.
7 months. Okay. So it's actually still flat, you can say?
Yeah, it'll be flat. Kind of flat.
Okay, so I think 2023, 2024 will be better. The average is better than 2021, 2022.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you can see the breakdown in terms of their industry. Telecommunication is the main guy that they serve, and then followed by these finance, those banks. So you can see the gross profit margin. Obviously, the maintenance work is more higher. But if you look at the implementation one also, it's pretty much similar, like 47%, 46%, and then here 34%.
Yeah.
But you can see that it's actually going down a little bit. And then they also do like resale of hardware and software. That one is basically trading.
Small,
that one is just like a few percent margin. Okay, so Malaysia is still the main place to sell. 97% it is in Malaysia. And they are trying to grow their presence in Singapore because this Singapore is basically a gateway for them to reach out to other Asia Pacific region. So that is the reason why they're going IPO, to get money to strengthen the Singapore branch. Okay, main costs. Very little cost. Two main things. So number one is the hardware and software. Number two is the staff cost. So you got these two major costs. You can see that staff cost represents about like 80% of their total input costs, whereas for hardware and software, it's like 15%. And then they also got break it down. What is the hardware and software? How much do they contribute in terms of their purchases? Okay. So we also got FIRL Pro briefing. We got Vetece in our FIRL Pro briefing.
I think it was 2 days before this video.
Yes, exactly. And then one of our research team actually managed to attend their roadshow, and then they got some of the notes that is not shared inside the prospectus, by the way. So if you're keen, you can check out.
But it's still public information. We want to clarify. It's just that it was during a physical event.
Correct. Yeah. Or maybe you will not notice because
maybe you want to share one insight that was not mentioned.
Yeah. So it's like over here, Global MNC competitors like Accenture, Deloitte Consulting charges customer 3 times compared to
Vetece, yeah.
Vitesse. Yeah, and then so the clients tend to switch vendors from this giant to a more cost-efficient solution from Vitesse. So this is actually not mentioned in their prospectus.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have to mention, but I think it's a good reference, right? Because it shows where Vitesse can charge in terms of future pricing.
Correct. Yeah, and also more customers who are more cost, they want more cost saving, they can go for Vitesse. Yeah, this is just one of the many few. So if you want to check out FIRL Pro, the 10% link is in the description or comments. Okay, so that's the business. Now the team. 2 main guy. Number 1 is T. Chi Chiang. So this guy is actually a legend. He has a chemical engineering degree and he worked for others for 5 years. And then he started this Vitesse actually at the age of 27. So he's actually quite a entrepreneur guy lah. Very there to do it. And he has been doing Vitesse for the past 21 years.
And we at 27 just appear in front of camera, talk about them.
Talk about them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then this is a vice executive chairman. Now, the other guy, which is the CEO, Mr. Chan Wai Hong, he also have a lot of engineering, masters of science in engineering business. And he worked for Oracle before under their customer relation management solution architect, and then different types of teams as well. Okay, one thing you need to know is that Mr. T is actually going to sell off some of his shares to the public, whereas Mr. Chan, which is the CEO, is going to gain some shares if, let's say, he actually submit his pink form allocation. So you can see that Mr. T is going to sell about 39 million shares, and that will actually translate his profit once it actually goes. He's going to make about 7.4 million in cash. Remuneration. They are getting paid quite well also. You can see that they are making about 300 to 200,000 a year. Not too shabby. That one is actually, I think it's pretty well paid already. And it's also a very small team only. Their main guy that runs the business is actually the solution architects or your IT professionals, because you need those maintenance work, right? Software for software. So you can see that that's the one that is constituting the most in terms of their number of employees. And also one fun fact is that there's actually I'm not sure whether this is considered high, but then their employee turnover rate can go as high as 22%. Oh. But on average, it's about 17%, 17%.
Is it because that there's maybe some projects basis and
maybe project basis, or maybe because this work is too hectic? I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay.
It could be
I'm gonna guess the big banks and the big telcos are their clients.
Yes, correct. Big banks, big telcos, big telecommunication. Yeah, exactly. Okay, industry. So this is a industry that is growing about 5% every single year. Again, this is just a projection by the USM. Yeah. So that's just their own opinion. You can see that VTs or Vitesse is actually very small. They are making about 23 million as compared to other players. So for example, like you have EY, you have your Deloitte, is all like making more than them. So they are still quite a small player that is trying to grab more market share from the industry lah. And you can see other listed company like Microlink, Remzo, they are also part of this peers configuration. And also Infomina also is over there. But you can see that their margin is still pretty high. So which means maybe if they grow bigger, their margins may be becoming smaller. Okay, numbers. I mean, this is a perfect number lah. They are actually growing like year on year, 3%, 10% in revenue, but their profit is like shooting up 32% to 58%. So this is like your SMRT lah. Very, very high margin business as well because they're still small. So we shall see whether in the future they can replicate this margin. Okay, cash also, I mean, this business is
typically this is just human beings, right? Mainly, so you don't really need a lot of that.
Correct. And they got so many cash, they are still raising cash from the public to actually just settle out their long-term debt. Yeah, so they're going to use 4 million, pay down that debt, then they are a debtless company.
It does makes you wonder why they list in the first place.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, but then cash flow-wise also is very good. But one concern is that they actually paid out 14.2 million in terms of dividend out of their cash. So you can see their cash actually dropped a lot in 2023. Just before IPO. Yeah. So that means that the shareholders, which is owned by 90% owned by Mr. T, so he'll be getting more, 12 million. Yeah. Okay, so returns for FCS base wise, you can see their ROIC is actually very, very good. Obviously, because this is a service type business, so their returns tend to be very high. Okay, growth and risk. Two growth only. So number one is Singapore. That one they have to strengthen their presence in Singapore so that they can expand to more Asia Pacific region kind of like market. And number two is that they need to hire more skilled IT employees and try to retain the employees and reduce the turnover rate if possible. Of course, that is basically how they can grow their business. And they also got mentioned that they have a order book over here. So you can see that 2.4 million will be recognized in FY 2024. So hopefully this order book will actually increase more as they get more customers. Now, risk. There's a lot of risk.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share a few. So number one is that the big MNC, top 5 major customers contribute 75 to 80%.
Half is TM almost.
Yeah, half is TM.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very big amount. But so far, TM has been their customer for over 20 years already. So there's some sort of like a stickiness with them. So I think that is still fine. Number two is Oracle is their key supplier, and Oracle also, they got recommend them some other suppliers as well. So yeah, I think their major success actually comes from this company. Okay, number three is some works need to be on site, meaning the work cannot be done remotely. Sometimes when there's two major problems, you have to the people have to go there. So for example, like during the lockdown, right? Some of their clients, some of their customers need help in Singapore, but they cannot go there. So that actually resulted a loss in revenue.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so that is actually key. They need to be there. Another one is the IT employees turnover rate, 60% on average, but they can go as high as 20%. So this is quite of a concern. And the fifth one is CrowdStrike incident. So if let's say they don't deliver as promised, or when there's like things bad happen, like for example, the CrowdStrike, everything like turn blank, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it will actually disrupt the trust also. So that is actually very important that they deliver. And the last one, it is the 14.2 million dividend payout. Yeah, so in total, actually, this CEO actually made about 20 million. If let's say he managed to sell his share post IPO and also from the dividend collected last year, so in total his profit is actually 20 million.
And then his stake would be
60%.
Right. So 60 million.
60%, yeah, times 25 cents. Yeah. So that's about it for today's video. It's quite a short one. And if you are keen, after listening to this, our sharing on VT's holding, you can actually subscribe to Moomoo again. Make sure to register using our link in the description and comments down below, and you can get this freebie over here, which is about 1,000 ringgit, and also free NVIDIA shares. So if you are interested, make sure to check out the links will be in the description and comments. And opt to FIRL Pro's return.
All right, guys. So yes, July is out. August won't be as good, okay? But our July returns are almost 60%. These are based on the write-ups, the educational write-ups that we have for stocks. Roughly 60% of these write-ups are actually positive. What does these reports give you, or write-ups? It's to speed up your research process, right? When you want to learn about certain companies, you can either do it yourself or you can let us help you with it within just 15 minutes per report. And of course, sometimes you always fear getting things wrong, and that's where we come in and say, hey, look, this is the thing that can give you a lot of security when it comes to investing in the stock market. One case example would be when the yen carry trade thing happened. A few of our members were worried and panicking because they never experienced this before. Because of the community that we have, we managed to calm them down and give them control over their portfolios. And of course, 2-3 days later, market recovered.
Yeah, and if you want to get a taste on FIRL Pro or how we write our write-ups, and also get a sense on how we actually teach our members using the SIB program, you can check out the free sample. The links will be in the description and comments below. And with that said, we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.